All right, so hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Business Bytes. For our Halloween edition, we're doing a spooky surprise. Surprise to everyone, we're talking about data privacy because it's really frightening what a lot of companies are doing lately with all of our data and data mining and the amount of information they have about us. So we actually are going to be surprising you. This week, the audience is the panelists. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining the panel. You don't have much of a say. And I just want to see, what do you guys really know about what happens with your data? Does anybody have any ideas? Yeah, Peter?
I like to think that they sell our data, as well as we don't read the terms and conditions, so they invade our privacy, and not even by force.
Yeah.
And they learn us as consumers and market to us that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Peter, what do you think?
All I know is really what I see. It's funny because yesterday I was looking at this, I was looking for a type of shirt, and I Googled the type of shirt I was looking for. And then I was looking around, I found it, but then I exited Safari, and then I had went onto YouTube, and they were legit marketing that exact shirt to me in a YouTube ad, and I was just okay, it's not even that they're sneaky with it anymore. It's blatantly obvious now. You search for something, and then there's an ad for it literally 2 minutes later on a different ad.
Yeah, that's so relatable. I think we've all had experiences like that. So, definitely, I think it's something we can all notice. I don't know if any of you have taken marketing with Professor Zoga yet, but it's something that she talks about a lot, and she scared me when she did, and that's kind of why I got interested in data privacy in the first place. So I have a little something to share with you. It's a bit embarrassing, but I was looking today through my Microsoft security features, and I found out that Cortana has been recording my conversations without me knowing. So
You said what?
Yeah, Cortana.
It's a violation.
So
Are you gonna sue?
I was so happy to find that out. Hang on here.
Wow.
My battery died.
This isn't the first I hear something like this, though. Because I hear Amazon Echo has done something similar.
Yeah.
But no, that's
Well,
crazy.
I mean, Siri listens to our conversations, and so do the apps if we allow them to use our microphone and our camera. So
Exactly.
Wasn't that a thing with AirPods? They were saying people didn't know you put your AirPods in, you can record your phone calls or something like that. It was a big thing when AirPods first came out. They don't do it anymore, but I know it was a big thing when they first came out.
Yeah, that's what it is with the terms and conditions. We agree to these things and we don't even know. I did not know Cortana was listening to me through my desktop and my Xbox, and now there's conversations recorded. So I've got this little clip I want to show you. Let me share my screen here.
Not just recorded, now it'll be on multiple platforms.
Yeah. Multiple platforms. So
unable to locate the
there's
chicken.
Something that says unable to locate the chicken. And I did actually say that in context. I was playing D&D with my friends, and I found this nice little clip. I was in the middle of telling my players, because I'm the DM, that they couldn't find something that they were looking for, and a couple months later, I find out that Cortana has recorded me saying this. So it's just a nice little spooky thing to share.
Yo.
That's scary. That is scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
You don't even know what they're recording at that certain point. It could be just any little thing. And it's over.
So I'm wondering next, who of you actually checks your data security settings?
I check my settings
every day.
Every day?
Which is kind of weird, I know, but I check it all the time, and there's certain things that I won't allow apps to do. I don't allow any apps to follow my location. I do a couple things, but I actually check my data and security.
So why don't you let it check your location?
Because then it'll show me ads based off of where I'm at, one, or two, they track. I don't like being tracked by like the location. Like I don't know, ever since like the sex trafficking scandal and stuff, I'm like really weird about certain apps tracking my location and knowing where I'm at. But yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. Who else has any information about, do you share your location? Is there certain things you don't like to share? Peter?
I did share my location with this girl, but like I stopped sharing it with her. But also I put all my stuff on incognito. But like after talking to you, I'm like, does that even really work? Like, is private really private? Is incognito really like private? So.
Well, the funny thing about incognito is it will hide things from your history when you're on whatever device it is, but it won't hide it from your employer. So like if you're at Rosemont can still look at your incognito history. And additionally, it doesn't get rid of your cookies. So cookies are still there.
What's the point? Like I just, like, my whole life is a lie.
Incognito's a lie.
Yeah. Well, it's like not that I have anything to hide. It's not that I have anything to hide because like I put it on incognito like now, but like while I was there, I didn't have it on incognito because like I have nothing to hide. But I mean, the fact that it's supposed to be private and it's not, like that's just like, what's the point? Just to make me feel better?
Probably.
Guess so.
Damn. So the thing's really hit it at the end of the day.
Wow.
Does anybody else?
One big lie.
Does anybody else have any stories about what it is that they do to try to stay more private?
I don't have something about how I don't stay private. I mean, I do stay private. It's more so how I don't. Like I said, I really have nothing to hide. Like my life is my life, and people come mind their business. Like it's funny because I was just talking to my boss. Spoiler alert. So, who here knew I had an internship, right?
Knew you had one?
So I got my internship a little bit ago, but last week they actually offered me the job. So yay! And I actually thanks. I start part-time soon, but and they said I can go full-time when I graduate. But it's funny because my boss actually asked me on Snapchat and everything, and he said he see me like when I go out and like little things like that. I'm kind of like, I mean, like I'm a grown man, like I'm not offending anybody when I'm doing. So
right.
Like I said, like I kind of own everything I do, so like nothing really scares me because like there's nothing they can really pull up on me. But it's the fact it's kind of like you're lying. Like,
well, what do you think about the difference between individuals knowing your business and having access to like your Snapchat and things like that, and businesses knowing everything you're doing?
I think, like I said, the difference is like, individuals like with you guys, like I'm pretty sure I have all you guys are on Snap anyway. So like you guys see everything anyway. I think there's that, like I said, with you guys it's like no problem, but I think with them it's that initial barrier of, is this professional? Should someone be acting this way? And then they can make judgments based off what they see. And then they can, decide like they want me to work for them or not, if they want to collab with me or not. Like, so there's those like risks you run into. But also, I think that if you wear those type of things on your sleeve and you're not sneaky and you kind of just own who you are, then they're more reluctant to even, take certain things away from you. So
that's a good point. That's something I hadn't even considered, actually. So how about the rest of you, Philip and Travis? Do you have anything you want to tell us about what do you really do online? Do you just go about your business? Do you try to protect yourselves?
My thing is that depending on certain websites and like terms of how they tend to check your data, because one thing I see a lot of is Rosemont ads wherever I go. It's like bombarding and stuff like that. So I usually use like a VPN in terms of making sure like I'm like whenever I go on a site or anything like on the internet, like my personal security is just like insured, and that even if like say another useful thing for that is like on Netflix, I can watch different shows from different regions and stuff like that, depending on where I set it. Another thing I'll do is like for PlayStation, it's like I have to be careful about like my friend settings, also my data settings, because it's happened before where people like different accounts will send you messages, but if you respond to them, your account will get hacked. And like it's happened to a few friends of mine. So I've also had to take steps in terms of like looking at my settings online in terms of mitigating who can send me messages, who I'm allowed to interact with and stuff like that.
That's another thing because it's like that's what I'm fearful of is like people that can hack your information and steal your information. So I didn't know the thing about the whole Rosemont thing, but like I always go on incognito, not for like I'm trying to hide anything, but just because I don't want people like necessarily like I know we're being targeted at and advertised at all the time, but like I want to limit as much as possible because I don't know. I just feel like that's just creepy. Like I don't want a business knowing as much as someone I'm close to or on a personal level. Like you're supposed to keep the boundary, like Peter was talking about, like professionalism, but I don't know. It's invasive. It's terrible.
That's a good word for it.
What Travis is saying, like he said, like it's creepy, but like it's also like annoying. It's like, you know, I don't want to see ads for something I search for once every 5 seconds.
Right.
Like, like it's not like I'm constantly looking at it. It's like if I look for a shirt one time for a Halloween costume, I don't want to keep seeing, you know, these same ads for the same shirt pop up in the middle of December. Like that's irritating.
Like I remember there was one time I was looking at, I don't know, I was looking at chains or whatever, like Cuban link chains, iced out chains or whatever on Safari. And I was just looking at them, whatever prices, And I go on Instagram and I'm scrolling down and the first ad I see is for Shop Gold for a Cuban iced out chain. I'm like, wow, like y'all really like, you're quick. Like you guys are
It's just,
fast.
you're quick. It's like you're so quick.
Yeah, that's very relatable. So, Philip, you talked about using a VPN. Do you want to explain to the group? I'm sure most of us here know what it is, but maybe people who watch afterwards might not.
Okay, so
why you do it.
VPN is a very private network, and so basically, when you would get one, it would basically a company runs by proxy. What is a separate server in which your data in terms of internet history, internet interactions is kind of filtered. Now, depending on which one you would use, there are different countries that require these companies to keep a log, but there are certain ones that don't follow certain restrictions, so you don't have to worry about your history being tracked or recorded and stuff like that. At the same time, it also mitigates where like nefarious people on the internet can kind of locate you in terms of it's not allowing them to necessarily get your IP, which would be key in terms of people being able to locate you and get access to your data, whether it be through your like laptop, phone, anything that's interacted with like a router at your home can be tracked through your IP and basically put you in risk. And so a VPN kind of acts as a buffer in terms of basically placing another relay between you and the internet that you interact with, so that when you do interact on the internet, you are able to do so without people being able to like kind of know where you are and where you're navigating.
Yeah. Does that make you feel safer?
Yeah, because ultimately it kind of makes sure that nothing that I want to be nothing I want out there is taken either by companies who are taking my data just to be able to pump stuff to me, or whether or not be someone who may not be watching me through the internet. I'm not very sure, but it could be basically my data could be at risk. And a VPN also acts as a way to kind of mitigate the risk. Not necessarily say it's a stop all gap, but it does help.
Yeah. So, Kiara, you were talking about earlier that you're worried about data security as it affects your personal safety. Do you think a VPN might be something that you would look into? She might not be there right now. That's okay. We can ask her later. So,
My only location is like, you know, I mean, I use Uber a lot, so like I need them to know my location, so like it can drop the pin and I can go home or go where I'm going. But other than that, like I get what she's saying. Besides like that,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Maddie. Did you ask me a question?
Yeah. Did you hear what Philip was saying about VPNs?
Yeah, I did.
Do you think something like that would make you feel safer?
I think it could, but then I also know that a lot of people are like, they're really smart and they know ways around that. So like, I just feel like regardless, somebody somewhere is going to know something. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's no, at this point and at this rate of technology that we're at, like there's no way around like keeping your data private.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like
that
it's
way.
impossible. I feel like you can't take certain measures to at least stop some of them. Not all.
You have to take very extreme measures in order to protect your data.
You have to like almost have no internet footprint, like
yes, and
at all.
That's difficult.
impossible. Yep. Nowadays,
Did you know some countries give citizens rights to access their data history? No? Yes?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of countries in Europe, citizens have a right to see what sort of data companies hold on them, but it's not something we have in America. Is that something?
Actually, I did know that, Maddie. I watched it and I think it was a documentary on like privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that other countries have those types of protections, but we don't really, like, we don't have the right to that sort of information. And maybe it's because America is so commercialized. If you steal your data, would you want to?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
like, why not? Like, I would definitely steal my data back.
Yeah. I don't know. For me personally, especially after seeing that I've been recorded, I'm a little nervous to know like what else they have besides me being unable to locate the chicken. I would definitely want to see. It would just be unsettling, I think.
Yeah, because like let's say like you're like having a deep conversation with somebody and it's like, oh, you recorded that.
Yeah, without your consent or knowledge. Like that happened to me in February and I found out today.
Maddie, I can't tell you that like if you I mean, we're not super duper close, but like the amount of crazy things that I say on a daily basis, I would be so shook to find out what Cortana had on me. Because I say a whole lot of stuff and it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, I would be scared. At that point, I would have to throw my whole laptop out. Like I couldn't have a laptop no more.
No, same.
Yeah, I'm gonna be deleting all of this activity later, but I kept it just to show you guys that one funny one. But some of it, like, I really wish nobody had recorded that because, like, that's my personal conversations with, like, my friends, family members, and now Microsoft owns it. And I'm like, excuse you, I did not know you were doing that. I didn't even know Cortana was turned on. Yeah.
But then when you accept the term and agreements, you're like somewhere in the fine print, you're low-key accepting all of that.
You are, because they make it so long because they're not going to read it.
I have read the terms and conditions to one app once in my entire life. And honestly, like, I'm tempted to say, like, oh, I want to start reading the terms and conditions because I don't want stuff like this to happen. But, like, practically, who's actually going to do that? Right?
Nobody's, and they do that. They do that on purpose.
No bad try.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Nah, but it's just like if you ever like Maddie, you say you took a look at like terms and agreements for like an app and stuff like that. Like the type of language and everything that you would use in that type of document, like the average person is not going to be able to comprehend half the stuff.
No, I can tell based on that experience, I did not understand most of it.
And my thing is like, even if you read through the terms and agreements and say there's something that you don't agree with and you don't agree to their terms, you're not going to be supplied that product or service. Like they're simply just going to deny you. So it's either you accept to their terms and agreements or you don't use the product.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
Yeah, no, there's no, like, you can't find a middle ground there. Like if I don't want Instagram to own all of my photos, I can't use Instagram because they own everything we post, technically.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? How are you feeling? Do you like talking about this? Is it unsettling or do you think it's good?
I really don't like talking about it. I'd rather just not. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to just ignore it because it's something that you obviously think about every day, but it's like you don't want to sit there and indulge on it because there's not really much you can do. What can you do besides getting a VPN or besides not accepting the terms and agreements? But then again, you're limiting yourself. You're limiting how much reach you can get, how much you can network. You're limiting yourself to the amount of technology that you can use. And it's, I don't know, companies are weird.
That's true. But you could also always get political about it. You could lobby your politicians to try to get us different protections. I know that it's been in a lot of legal trouble lately because of data privacy, and hopefully that trend will continue. Yeah. But you're right, not a lot.
kind of like what Travis said. I mean, like, it is what it is at this point. Like, technology's come so far to the point where it's like we can't even keep track of what they're keeping track of. So I mean, like, it's just like, I mean, like I said, like, if you have a clean act, there's really nothing for you to worry about. But you know,
even if you have a clean act, as you say, there's still all of the like targeted ads. Like, have you ever thought about how they might be influencing you without you knowing it?
I thought about it, but at the same time, like, I think that also depends on your mindset too. Like, if you're constantly searching for something, they're gonna keep feeding you that, and it's like you're gonna keep more so indulging in that. Where it's like with me, it's like I'm looking for one thing for probably one reason in that moment. So like either if I get it or I don't get it, like showing me ads is not gonna make me want it again. It's just gonna annoy me and like make me skip ad.
That's true. I wonder if marketing agencies ever think about the fact that annoying us too much could make us not want a product. Have you guys ever thought about that?
I have thought about that actually, like at my internship / job now. Like they have been trying to market something. I can't really speak about it because it's like not out yet, but they've been trying to market it to like these certain other companies, and like they've been badgering this one company for a while, and it's kind of like they've already said no. It's like, so I like, let's move on to the next one before you like start damaging your relationship with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Chris, are you trying to say something?
I was not. I just think, like, I don't really think about it that much because I just figure I'm too far gone. I can't undo it, so I just don't really worry about it. They're gonna do it with my information.
Like we grew up like this, like, and our children and our generations following us are gonna be relying upon technology. So there's really not much you can do besides lobbying for consumer like data protection. That's the only thing we can do.
Yeah. So I see a common theme. A lot of annoyance, but a lot of acceptance as well. I think that's definitely, you're right, Travis. Something especially generational is all of us, our age, college age and younger, like this is just our world as it always has been. So I can see why it would be different, especially for older people. Like they didn't have that sort of issue before where people were knowing everything. Yeah, those are good comments. Before we finish up for the night, does anyone have anything they want to add?
I do not.
Not at all. This was good, Maddie.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you all for coming to our spooky surprise session. You're all wonderful panelists. I hope you will come back. Actually, come back next week because Kiara will be a panelist and she knows ahead this time. Yeah. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Enjoy your night.
No problem.
Have a good night, Maddie.